Today we're going to show you the inside secrets on from some of the greatest minds in magic. They're right here with me. I don't have just one, I have two. On my right, Mr. Eric Jones, hit it up one time, and on my left, Sean Fields.
Hey, what's going on, man?
All right, it is good to have both of you here.
It's good to be here.
You know, Eric is a guy that's been around for a long time. I've met him actually for the first time when I met Sean at one magic convention.
Oh, that one.
that one time.
It was a great weekend.
It was a great weekend.
That was a lot of fun, and it's crazy how life has gone for all of us in that time. But now we're together again.
Yeah.
We're reunited at the table, and there's a big topic that's been talked about all over the magic industry, and it's something that we want to tell the guest about today. That there's a topic now. There's a new genre of magic that I guess you could say. It's taken card magic and it's elevated it, or it's taken it in a different direction, and it's something that's called cardistry. It's throwing cards around, flinging them around, springing them, and it was flourishing for a while, and then it got switched over to cardistry. And I would love to know thoughts from two totally different magicians from two totally different genres of magic. The coin guy, the sexy magic, the sick magic, the crazy guy. I'd love to know your thoughts on something like cardistry. I mean, first, do you guys think it's magic? Done.
It can be magical.
Agreed.
Okay.
But it's not magic. I think it has a place in our community in the sense that it can accentuate any magic trick if used at the right place.
Okay.
But you can't just...
That can't be it.
Do it for 5 minutes and expect people to, watch the entire time. It's like watching a huge, long action scene. And if it's the exact same type of fighting the entire time, your brain just turns off to it.
Yeah.
So it has to be changed, like I said, so it can accentuate a magic effect. But I don't think it can be used solely for entertainment.
Do you think it accentuates a magic trick, though, Eric?
Yeah.
Because from my standpoint,
Okay, go ahead.
Oh boy,
hey, here we go.
Gloves are off. All right, I like this. This is good.
From my perspective, for the style of magic I do, I would much rather hide my skill than put it on display.
And that seems to be the controversy back and forth. People always say, well, you shouldn't show off your skill. It should be hidden and it should be sloppy. And it's interesting.
I didn't say sloppy, but I'd certainly much prefer to hide my skill.
Okay.
If I can do a double lift or a pass or whatever card move invisibly, and then I turn around and do the 17 faces of Sybil, then if I bring the card to the top of the deck 100 times, they know that I've got the ability. I've just shown them that I've got the ability. I've got complete control over the cards. So any magic associated with that is kind of diluted, in my opinion.
Well, at the same time, if we just take the word cardistry out and replace it with flourishes, when you stop and think about it, just spreading the cards in your hand can be considered a flourish.
This is very true.
The way you just spread the cards can be considered a flourish. It's a skillful act. So just adding that small bit really accentuates any trick that you're performing, even at that level. You don't have to go into the 18 faces of Sybil in order to accomplish something that looks skillful. And I don't think people see the skill there, but they can discern for themselves whether or not it's magic or if it's skill. So I don't think it takes anything away from the trick.
Well, do you think that this takes something away from doing this, is that there's now a huge disconnect between you and your audience? I mean, with magic, you're performing and you're interacting and you're fooling them. With something like cardistry or flourishing, it's more about watch.
All depending, A, on the performer, and B, what they're doing. If the performer isn't engaging, if there's someone who's introverted, who's just saying, here's something I can do, then yes, there's definitely going to be a disconnect.
Yeah.
The audience isn't going to be able to relate to that person.
That's their expression, yeah.
Exactly. On the other hand, it can be a gateway into juggling. It can be a gateway into magic in general.
The gateway drug.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So you can use those chops that you've developed from cardistry, from flourishing, and translate those into other forms of magic. Manipulation on stage, card magic in general, coin magic. So I think it can work either way.
Do you think that some of the classics of magic are getting lost to the newer generation because they're not as visually exciting? Like, is the new generation ignoring the past because it's not as enticing as flourishing and showing off? Because in reality, you're showing off skill.
Yeah.
With magic, like you just said, you're hiding skill, you're trying to cover what you're doing. And a lot of the, Vernon and Marlowe, it was all learn to hide it.
Mm-hmm.
So what direction do you think magic is going in? And I'd love to get input from both of you on
What do you think?
if that's the mentality now. Where are we going with this stuff?
I think Eric said it best. It's here now, and it's always going to be a part of magic.
Sure.
It's not going anywhere. But I don't think it's harming
Okay.
everything we've accomplished as a community thus far.
Yeah.
Vernon is still Vernon. Marlowe's still Marlowe. The theories are still sound, and those that are interested in the rules and the history of magic, and they're still going to learn from those guys. The cardistry is just a new. It's just a new course, a new area to learn.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, you take things like, let's say, people like in Spain, like Miguel Angel Correa, Woody Aragon, who don't have necessarily a flashy style, but they've taken classic pieces of magic and they've updated them, bringing them into the 21st century, and there's nothing wrong with that. And at the same time, you have these kids who are learning the cardistry and only want what's hot in magic right now. They can learn in their own time. And the only way for that to happen is for guys like Sean, for guys like Garcia, and a few other people who are taking these classic pieces of magic, updating them, bringing them into the 21st century, and because it's young, it's hip, it's cool, it'll bring that demographic in.
Right. And I guess the last thing is, and we're not going to get too deep into this because this opens up a whole other can of worms. Do you guys think that the whole YouTube thing with being able to just instantly show off what you're doing, do you think that's also hurting or changing things in a kind of a bad way?
You are 100% correct. This is a whole different can of worms.
It really is. It really is. I personally feel as if it's a great outlet for people who don't have an opportunity to spend time with other magicians live,
Sure.
who don't have a mentor to work with.
Sure.
It gives you an opportunity to say, here's something that I'm working on. What do you guys think? Give me constructive criticism, and you go forward that way. On the other hand, you've got all of these exposure situations where people have bought a trick, they've tried it out, and their performance is so bad that it's an expose of the effect at the same time.
Might as well be watching The Secret. Yeah.
It's good for for magic, but it's bad for magicians.
But, well, is it really though? Because we've always had bad magicians. This is nothing new.
But it's happened on an epic scale now.
Well, just because it's on YouTube doesn't mean everybody's watching it. Most of the people that are watching magic videos on YouTube are either magicians or soon-to-be magicians. So, if little Johnny goes up on YouTube and butchers through an ambitious card for his 80 friends that follow him.
Did you watch my video?
It's really not that detrimental to magic.
Well,
in fact,
think about if you were just releasing Saw today, and 10 minutes after somebody buys it, they put up a video of them performing it, and their performance teaches pretty much how to do your trick.
It happened. It absolutely, it happened. You can go on YouTube and type in Sean Field Saw, and you'll get 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 videos of other kids doing it, and some of them are not very good. Sorry, guys. But that didn't hurt the effect. I mean, Chris still used it to great effect. It still fools everybody I show. So I don't think it's that detrimental. Didn't we start on cardistry?
Yeah,
We did. I was just, my connection there was people.
It was the other can of worms. That's what
Yeah.
I told you.
The connection to me was going to be that people are so excited now to show off the flourishing stuff that they just jump on the YouTube and just start.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if, in your opinion, that was changing the mentality of people to learn and study, because flourishing has got to be the easiest thing to just go online and show off. And YouTube is that audience because it's just throw some music and just do the stuff and it's done. It's not like performing. And that's kind of where I was going with the whole YouTube thing. But yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
That is another discussion. And I guess at the end of the day, the thing is, it's all about your opinion. It's about what you want to do, which is the way it should be. And that it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just something that's different. It's something that's new. And that's yet another reason why I'm so excited to have people like this to talk to this stuff. I mean, we live and breathe magic. This is our life, and it means a lot to us. And it should mean a lot to you, too, because this is an industry that it's our responsibility to take it serious, to study it, and give it the respect that it deserves. And so we hope to have more people like Eric and Sean around to help you take your magic to the next level and guide you along the way so that you, too, can end up like one of these guys one day. You'll be one of the guys that everyone else wants to hang out with and wants to meet and do their magic.